Hello and welcome back to Divide and Conquer, where we have a look at a quick overview of the faction we'll be playing next, as voted by you guys. I do once again appreciate you, each and every one of you who voted. Sorry for those I didn't get to see the faction that they voted for. I did see one vote for Rune and 3 for the Ardenheim, but in the end the Grey Havens of Linden were the victors. I will keep this poll out, and if there's a massive change by the end of the weekend, then we might see a different faction than Linden. However, as unlikely as that is, it is most likely we'll be seeing the Linden campaign as the next campaign, which I'm more than happy with, because it means I can continue using the Total War submod. Because if not, the Linden campaign is far too easy without using the Total War submod. Because you've already allied with Shire and Mardris. It just needs to send a diplomat over to Dunedain and the dwarves. Sometimes even Enedoi if you don't want to go to war with them, and then just move up, defeat Angmar, set a massive naval force, send it all the way down into somewhere like here, where Mordor will probably be at that time, and just claim all their regions, defeat Mordor, and the game's over. But that's only in a long campaign. And back to saying that, yes, unlike in the Angmar campaign where we needed to hold 30 regions, we now have to hold 50 regions. So claiming the Misty Mountains, the Anduin Vale, and Lothlorien, and a bit of Dol Guldur will not be enough this time. For this campaign, we're expecting to go at least, not double what we managed to do for the Angmar campaign, but at least 10 to 20 episodes more. Just so we can hold out to at least, just so we can be a little longer than the Angmar campaign, because to be honest, this campaign only lasted a month and a bit more. And as fun as it was, I wish I could have kept the fun coming a little bit more. But after Erebor started showing their claws, almost winning the campaign before I could, I had to obviously speed up. And accidentally brought this up. We get to see what we start with. We have 3 different generals to start with. We start with our faction leader, Haven Master Círdan the Respected. Him with his beautiful thing. This is, I believe, a custom strategy model because of the fact that he's got a beard, so no other Linden faction leader will ever look like that. And he has the unique Mithlond Nobles, the strongest unit of Linden. And they can only be created, I believe, in Mithlond. I can't remember if they can be created in Harlond or not. Let me check. It's very easy to check. Just if it's a city, you switch over to the castle side, and the castle, all the way around. So yes, the Mithlond nobles are restricted to Mithlond only. But let's just check Forlond as well, because they may be in here as well. Nope. Okay. So the only place you can get the elite Mithlond nobles is in Mithlond. Before, when there was another region here that held the Palantir, you can make the Mithlond nobles from both sides of the river, and that made the unit very strong, since the other units, the Smiths of Eregion, could only be created by Imladris in Ost-in-Edhil. But if we are to claim Ost-in-Edhil, we can also make those Smiths of Eregion, and that is the plan. So like with the Angmar campaign, where we had to get certain regions, such as Mengelon, Gundabad, Danes Halls, Goblin Town, etc., we are going to get regions specific to the Elven factions. But these might change on certain situations. So in Lardris, a region I'd very much like to take for 2 reasons. One, to see if I can get the Rivendell units, or the Imladris units, whatever they're called, from Imladris if I'm playing as Linden. I can understand if they couldn't do it as Lorien or Merkel, because they're technically of Sylvan origin. But seeing where both Noldorin or Teleri or the High Elves, basically, you'd think you may be able to make the Rivendell units from Imladris itself. But if we do end up allying with Imladris, I'm not going to be too hung up on that. As long as I can claim Ost-in-Edhil, that is a must-take region. So if Rivendell manages to take it, and Dunland doesn't take it from them, then sorry, Imladris, but we're going to have elf-on-elf violence. Another thing, the first requirement I probably should have said, the Blue Mountains. The dwarves of Everluin cannot be allowed to live coexisting with us. We will take them down. They are the one faction I'm more than happy to go to war with as a must. But the Naim are another faction as well, because the only script the Elves of Linden get, because they are meant to be the easiest faction, nearing turn 100, I think turn 90, there's an Umbar invasion. This is a thing that always happens unless you play as the Ardenaim. In which case, a rather decent-sized Umbar fleet with a full stack army will attack Mifflond, and it will always attack immediately because it has things like siege equipment, which you can attack. And there's a very cheesy way of doing it, but I'll come to that in the future. But yes, as a way, in a response, as a retaliation against the Black Numenorians, the false faithful of things like Dol Amroth and Gondor, we of Linden will have a countermeasure. In 20 turns, after the Umbar invasion has failed to take Mifflond, I will send out a full stack, maybe 2 full stack armies, or close to full stacks, in my elven fleets, and we shall sail down to Umbar and we shall attack them. I think the main thing for doing this is because most people don't see much war against the north and then directly to the south. But because we are one of the factions that is incentivized to use fleets and use boats in particular, such as the Numenor, well, our faction is probably the most notable, as obviously the Grey Havens, and they are obviously sailing off to the west. But it's also Dol Amroth with their fleets. Probably the strongest naval fleets come from Dol Amroth, because they can get and Gondor, because they can make the giant vessels that are really strong. And obviously Umbar as well, because the Corsairs live with, well, in this reality of Lord of the Rings, the Ardenaim are Black Numenorians, so they exist in Umbar, and they come to attack us, and we shall be sending a retaliation force. So again, as I said, that's just a way to try and give some more stuff to it. If by some miracle Harad defeats the Ardenaim before the Umbar invasion can exist, we will still send the army to attack Umbar, even if it is not owned by the Ardenaim. That's something I'm just going to say now, because I feel like I'm going to forget this in the future. So I'm saying this to you guys now, just in case I forget. Although I probably won't. I don't know. But another main thing is, as a naval faction, I wish I could say naval faction, more as a seafaring nation, we have units like the Lindar Marines, or Mariners, that we get, and these are very strong units that you can get from any port region, similar to the Azra Zaire Mariners, I think, of the Ardenaim. And these units, and another thing like this, same with the Haven Guard for Dol Amroth, and then the Coastal Wardens. So we get a special unit for having a port, and that is kind of something I want to focus on in this campaign. I want to be focusing being able to get those elite units from port towns. So our main focus in the campaigns, or in this campaign, is the claiming of coastal regions. Obviously, this is something very different to that of Mordor, of Angmar, because we focus on claiming mountainous regions, because we could then get trolls from those mountain regions. With this campaign, we're going to be focusing on claiming coastal regions. Because even though by the time of the late game, the Linden Mariners aren't as good, I mean 16 attack and 16 defense in total are really good stats. And it's going to be that unit that I focus the campaign around. So as I said, we're going to focus on claiming coastal regions. Obviously, in the very beginning, rebel regions, we will take those that we can, we'll leave those that we can't. If we're next to like Enedwaith, the other coastal region, we'll want to take it. But if it prevents war with them, then I'll just say, okay, let's not have war, let's just remain neutral for now. So as I said, the first thing we want to be doing, once Eredluin's destroyed, once they're gone and out of the picture, factions like Angmar, the Dunedain, Bree, and Imladris are going to start stepping up and claiming. Actually, no. The Dunedain and Angmar are going to start stepping up and claiming some of the regions that the dwarves never were able to take because I was focusing on them and they didn't have time to focus anywhere else. So, along with these port regions, as I said, we are going to have specific regions I want to take. Currently, Otinethil is the only region I really want to take. As we carry on in the campaign, there may be other specific regions we want to take to basically either solidify our situation, just to like act as a defensive post against like Angmar if they come to war with us. The Dunedain, if they go to war with us, we'll probably want to take Numinas. Because technically, King Elendil, he gifted Gil-galad Numinas, so by rights, Numinas is also is technically an Elven region too, and that is shown by. Oh no, there's no culture there for Elven. Sad. So yes, so obviously to begin with, claim some rebel regions, fight the Blue Mountains, claim some coastal regions. Probably take both sides of Farlad, because again, two very important coastal regions. We can't upgrade them or repair them basically to what they were, because that's something that only the Númenóreans can accomplish. But they're still two very powerful regions on their own. Yeah, if we ally with the Dunedain, we'll just let the Dunedain have them. They're not regions specific to our nation. But if it means I have to take these two regions so I can get to Otinethil and secure its protection from other regions attacking it, that is what I'll do. As I said before, if Imladris goes to war with us, I'm more than happy to take Imladris and see if there's any special units we can make from there. Probably not, but just again, want to check. And then basically the rest of the world. So places like Gondor. We're not likely to fight Gondor. But they do have quite a few coastal regions, so if we feel like we want to go full claiming coastal regions by about turn 200, because I think that'll be the time, not turn 200, it's about turn 100, 150, by the time we start reaching Gondor's borders. If we want to ally with them, we can. If they're on the brink of destruction, I'll probably just finish them off myself, claim those regions, and then start fighting whatever's here. Because to be honest, wars in Isengard. Isengard would actually be a nice place to take in the future. That's just hypotheticals. We don't know. I don't know how the campaign's going to end up going, because in Total War everything is random. If we went for the Total War submod, I can give a slightly better calculation on what everyone's going to do. But unfortunately, because Rohan and factions like Rohan and Isengard are not guaranteed to go to war, Dunland and Isengard may not become allies. The Dunedain might end up fighting Bree. Angmar might fight the Orcs. A lot of things can randomly happen that don't normally happen in the non-Total War submod. And that's what makes these campaigns so much more interactive, so much more fun, in my opinion. So is that everything? Yes. So we're most likely playing as Linden unless the poll goes massively over to one of the other factions before Monday. By the end of Sunday, I will be announcing. I won't be announcing it, but on that Monday, whoever's faction is the highest on the poll will be the faction I play as. So if it is Linden, we'll be fighting the Blue Mountains. We'll want to focus claiming Ossinephil, and we will be focusing directly on claiming coastal regions. Those are the main points of the campaign going to be like. And another thing I'd like to mention is, if you can't hear it in the background because it may be too quiet or it's maybe too loud, if you can't hear me, it'll probably be too quiet. I've started putting audio into these videos again. Sorry, not again. I've now decided to. I've managed to find some Battle for Middle-earth. I've managed to find the Battle for Middle-earth music. I'm going to start implementing it and editing it into my videos, just like in the background, to try and like add more emotion to the game. Because obviously, listening to my voice alone, sometimes I just stop, and it's just a quiet void, or you just hear me clicking, or you just hear the generals talking, things like that. Obviously, having a nice bit of background music is nice, but the actual DAC music I cannot use. I'm not actually sure about this, if someone actually knows if I can, but I'm fairly certain the original DAC music is still copyrighted, and I do not want to have to. No, I do not. I don't have to deal with that kind of thing. So I hope you all enjoyed this kind of like overview of what the faction is going to be like. And again, if nothing changes, this will be the campaign. I hope you guys will enjoy this. If you have any other ideas for what I might want to take, who I might go to war with before the campaign actually starts, or once it starts, and you just want to comment on the videos, do so. Leave likes as well. It just shows how that I'm doing well, and I can keep. If there's any ways I can improve, just say. Subscribe if you want to see. If you want to actually see once a video has been uploaded, so you can watch it immediately. So you can actually keep up with everything. Then do subscribe if you haven't already. So I'll see you all next time. Farewell.